It's Dean and Sheena. We're now on air with Mo Pitney. Mo, welcome to the show.
Hey, glad to be here. Thank you.
Now, we are a UK-based country show. There aren't many of us, but have you ever travelled to the UK before?
Well, no, I've been once, as far as I've ever come, is a trip last year to Ireland, and now I get to bring my family this year to kind of sweep across the UK, and I'm thrilled to do that. So this is my first big old kind of look around over there.
That sounds great. It must be very exciting to travel across the Atlantic. I mean, there's so much history here, and also a lot of passionate country music fans.
I've heard that. I've heard that the audience is just awesome, and I can't wait to experience that.
So let's just rewind a little bit and talk about your childhood in relation to your music. When did it all start for you in terms of your performing and writing?
Well, I didn't start writing until a lot later, probably until I was 18 or 19. I was always afraid of writing, but growing up when I was 12 or 13, I really got serious with playing the guitar. My dad, he played steel guitar and banjo and guitar, and I think God's wired us in a way where we want to be like our dad. So whenever I got the bug, would listen to the old records that he listened to and watch him play. I picked it up around 12 or 13 years old and started playing bluegrass and old country music, and the rest is history.
It's interesting you mentioned, though, that you were listening to some of your dad's old records there. Who were some of your earliest inspirational artists?
Well, in the very beginning, it was a lot of bluegrass music. Larry Sparks was probably, there's a record that we listen to often called Larry Sparks' 40 album. And it's an album that was produced by Alison Krauss. And that's probably one of the first really deep musical influences for me. And it really took off from there with J.D. Crowe and the New South and Del McCurry, and found Keith Whitley, and that's when I kind of jumped over and really started digging into country music repertoire, and really that's just the tip of the iceberg. That list goes on and on.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong here, but I believe I've heard that you learned the guitar with a broken arm. How does that work?
Well, I think I was goofing off, and I'd punched one of my buddies in the arm, and I broke my right hand with a boxer's fracture, and this cast had to go all the way up to my elbow, and it went down, and it covered my right ring finger and pinky finger, so all I had left was my middle pointer and thumb, and I would lay a rag over my dad's guitar and play the guitar just with the three fingers I could hold on to a pick with. And when I started playing, my earliest influences were the bluegrass records, but the first record I ever played to was Johnny Cash record, Live in San Quentin. And I learned every lick on that record with a black cast on my arm.
It sounds like quite a challenge, but it set you right on the path. And then I guess the first time I'd heard of you was your 2014 single, Country. Just talk to us a little bit about that, because one thing I have identified about certainly your current music is that it goes a lot deeper than beers and bikinis. It's, yeah.
I think life's a lot deeper than that. And I think our music should reflect the most beautiful parts of life. And I would hope that there's more beautiful things than beers and bikinis. And I'm learning more and more about that every day. But the song Country, we really love the song and are glad for what it's done. I wrote it with Bill Anderson and Bobby Tomlin, and that song in particular is just really about what we thought country music was and what brought people to town to play country music. And we wanted to kind of get rid of the stereotype of, you either had to throw hay bales and wear a cowboy hat or whatever that might be to be country. We wanted to kind of group all these people who were country at heart together and, write a song for those in New York who listen to Merle Haggard, or those who do throw hay bales and listen to Merle Haggard. Get them all in one audience.
And then moving on, last year, that debut album, Behind the Guitar, it's such an awesome album, and it hit the country top 10. So for that album to have done that, how did that make you feel?
Oh, it's great. I mean, when you make an album, you don't really know who's going to listen to it or if anybody will enjoy it or not. And so to actually create a piece of art that people at large enjoy, or that many people enjoy, is pretty special feeling.
You know, you were saying before actually about how you're noticing as days go by that there is more to life that you can put into your music. Has having a young family changed your angle, your attitude towards what you're writing, or inspired you more in any way?
Yeah, I mean, every one of the big life experiences just adds to, I think, our understanding of why we're here, and I think it's made me more serious in what I write about, what I put on a piece of paper. It's just all good things about life and love, and even if I don't write about having babies, you know, you felt things that you never felt before, and they find themselves in the songs. I did write a song about her. It's a song called Eveline Nadine that I'm really excited about. But yeah, I mean, you definitely, with every step of life, it'll change the way you think and write.
Well, we are looking forward to the new single Everywhere hitting the UK on the 28th of this month. Can't wait for that. What has been your favourite venue or city to play in so far?
Man, there's been a lot of good ones. It all kind of depends, because there's been some little places like singer-songwriter nights where the shows have gone really well. I don't think I remember venues as much as I remember audiences. And you can get the right audience pretty much in every venue when the music really connects. I mean, I've loved playing the Opry, but I've also loved playing little things like Eddie's Attic in Atlanta, Georgia, which was just this little singer-songwriter venue where we've had some really fun shows, and the list can go on and on. I just really love playing in front of an audience that's connecting with what's going on, and those are pretty spiritual moments.
So is there anyone out there that you'd like to collaborate with, either writing or performing?
You know, I've answered this question just by saying, I think in the past I've tried to think about someone I'd like to collaborate with and reach out with them, and it's never really turned into anything long-lasting. And so I think for the future, I'm going to let that happen organically. You know, if God puts someone in my path that we think and write and kind of look at recording the same way, maybe we'll talk about getting in the studio and doing something. I haven't really been out looking just to do a collaboration, but I'm certainly open to it.
Sure. Well, we always love to get to know the people behind the music as much as we love to talk about the music.
So a lot of these artists that we speak to have so much energy when they're playing on stage and when they're recording and performing, and we want to know where that energy comes from. So we're asking you, what do you eat for breakfast?
Well, this morning I had, my wife made sweet potato hash with sausages. It was a great breakfast. I had an egg in the middle of it, and it was hearty, and she made me what she calls a bulletproof coffee, which has whey protein powder and butter and coconut oil in it, and gives us a good pump for the beginning of the day.
Staying on the subject of food, when you're just feeling maybe a little bit run down or something, is there a food that you might determine as your pig out food that you would just sit there and you could just eat forever?
Oh, probably barbecue.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Love it. And Mo, let's just talk about what's coming up for you in terms of touring. Are you out on tour later this year?
Yeah, we're pretty much just in a very random spot for touring. We're not on a tour with another artist, so we're pretty sporadic where we show up even in the States. Anyone can go on our website, mopitney.com, and find the touring schedule, but it's so kind of scattered out, sometimes it's hard to keep track.
Fully understand that one. Well, we look forward to welcoming you to the UK, and we will do everything we can to promote your music to UK country fans, and I'm sure they will absolutely love you.
I really appreciate that, and we're all excited. My wife and all of us are tremendously excited to be there.
And before we leave you, just share with our listeners a little bit of the story behind you and your wife and how you came together, because I understand it was from your teenage years.
Yeah, we actually met when I was 15. She was 15 at a bluegrass festival in central Illinois. And at that time, God didn't have it set up for us to be dating. She lived quite a ways from where I did, and I think we were both dating people at the time. But we'd always been friends, and by the time we were 21, some big major changes God had made in both of our hearts and in our lives, and got us going the same direction, and we became best friends. And soon after that, was engaged and got married, and now have a little baby, and things are just one step right after another right now.
I love a happy ending.
Yeah, that's what we're looking for by faith.
Mo, it's been great to talk to you, and thanks for being with us. We'll catch you again soon.
Thank you guys so much.